Hello everybody and welcome back once again for another video of DIY investing. For today's video, we're going to be diving in and I'm going to be sharing with you guys my updated price targets for Ethereum moving forward into this next cycle. You guys have been commenting on my channel a lot asking for my price targets for Ethereum in this next cycle. I've done a lot of analysis on XRP, and so I figured today would be a great opportunity for me to dive in and share with you guys exactly just how high I think Ethereum is headed in this next cycle. With that being said, I also had a major announcement to make to you guys regarding the trading course and signals. I'm in the process of developing it. Most of the videos are actually already done, but I'm actually going to be hosting a pre-sale of that so that you guys can get in early and I can actually get a little bit of a community built beforehand before I actually release the actual product. So I made an announcement inside of my announcements channel in the Discord server. Make sure that you join there if you're not a member already by clicking the invitation link in the description of this video. Now I'm actually going to go through here and exactly give you guys the details as far as what to expect with the trading course. Just thought I would keep you updated on projects I am working on. I am working on a course with signals. The course is still being developed. I have most of the videos done now, but I am waiting another month before I release it to the public. From today until the next month, I will be doing a pre-sale where it will be 50% off until the new year, January 1st, 2020. After that, it will be full price. Pre-sale is $500 for the video course with over 20 detailed videos explaining my strategies for profiting inside of cryptocurrency. For the video course and signals, it will be $1,000. Signals allow you an opportunity to copy my personal investment portfolio so that you are able to make the same trades I am. After January 1st, 2020, prices will raise to $1,000 for the video course and $2,000 for the course and signals. I hope this helps. If you are interested in the pre-sale, let me know soon because I am getting all the early adopters on a list for exclusive content I am going to add for you guys. Now this is going to be a lifetime. For as long as I'm running this channel, you guys will be able to purchase this and be a member inside of my Discord server. You're going to be able to follow my signals and analysis. Now this is going to carry on into the next bear cycle and so on as long as I continue to run this channel, which I do plan to do for a while. This channel has brought so much joy to me, and to see how well it's actually been growing recently just gives me so much motivation to keep doing what I'm doing. Now, I've told you guys previously in other videos that I've spent thousands of dollars worth of courses and mentorships that have actually taught me all of the trading strategies that I have today. I've been in crypto for over 3.5 years, and in about 5 months, I'll be here for a 4th year. And that also lines up perfectly with the next halvening, which is going to be such a profitable time inside of cryptocurrency. I provide a ton of free content on this channel, but this is a way that I can actually start doing this full time. Remember guys, I don't make anything from actual YouTube and posting on YouTube, so this is a way that I can actually focus on this full time and just help you guys profit in this next cycle. Over the course of the last 3.5 years, I've been a part of a number of different paid groups, and for the value that you guys are actually going to be getting with this course, as I can promise it's going to blow all of the other groups I've been a part of out of the water. Many of the paid groups I was a part of had very select video courses that actually teach you anything. Most of them had signals, but a lot of the time none of the signals were very good. A lot of them were structured in a way that was kind of hard for the average person to understand. Now, me being a part of a Discord server and a community already in the last bull run, I already know how to run all of this stuff. I already know how to provide content for you guys so that the average person can follow along and profit alongside next to me. And so this isn't anything new that I haven't been a part of in times past, but in fact, I'm adding so much more value to this course than anything else I've been a part of because I really do want the best for everybody that follows me. I want you guys to be able to follow my strategies and really just know exactly what I'm doing so that you guys can profit and make the most money for yourselves as well. Signals are another part that's a key aspect to this course. If you follow my signals, you're going to get all of my personal trading plans, investment tools, and you're also going to be able to copy my own investments moving forward. Now, you guys got to remember that I trade and base my trading strategy upon what the market's giving me. Right now, my trading strategy is going to be a little bit different compared to a few months down the line when the bull trend is fully in place. And you guys got to remember that to be a profitable trader, you have to be willing and able to change and modify your trading plan so that you're going to be on the opposite end of the market, winning and profiting the whole way up. This is something that the average retail investor cannot do, and this brings me to a little fact and a little quote that has always rung through my head ever since I've been a part of investing. Out of the 100% of people who invest and trade in a financial market, only 10% of those are actually going to earn a profitable return. that means 90% of you guys that are watching me are most likely not going to be able to profit in this next cycle because you just don't quite understand the full tools that you need in order to be a profitable investor. And that's what I've done with this trading course. I've created detailed videos, at least 30 minutes to an hour long, detailing all of my strategies and how I implement all of that into me being a profitable trader. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for the support. It really does mean a lot to me. Make sure that you message me either on Discord, comment in the comment section of this video, or you can email me by clicking on the description of this video, and there you're going to be able to find my Gmail account. Anyways, guys, make sure that you comment. Make sure that you guys let me know exactly if you guys want to be on this early adopters list. All the early adopters are going to get exclusive free content that isn't going to be released at any other point as long as this course is active. With all that being said, guys, let's jump right in the video today. Alright guys, so here we are taking a look at Ethereum. Now Ethereum, we're going to go through and dive in and look at my price targets. But before we do that, I'm actually going to be once again comparing this fractal and this market cycle to the previous market cycle that we had inside of Bitcoin. Now this is going to take us back to the original Bitcoin cycle, and I've actually talked to you guys about this comparison for a while, but I wanted to talk to you guys about this because it really does apply to how I'm creating my price targets for Ethereum. Now with Ethereum, if we go back to the very first early days of this market cycle, we're going to see an exact correlation between the two cycles. Really, there's not a whole lot of difference at all. The only major difference that I can point out between the two cycles is the fact that during this time inside of Bitcoin, there was not very much money in this market at all. A very, very, very fine amount of money was in this market, and it would have probably been less than a top 100 market cap cryptocurrency clear back in the early days. And so it's going to look more volatile. It's not going to be quite the same time frame as Ethereum because there was way more money inside of Ethereum's market during the last cycle than there was in the original Bitcoin cycle. But what we can see is the exact correlation that Ethereum is following the original Bitcoin cycle almost identically. We can see that we had this really slow, we can see that we had this really short-lived market cycle. This was really the original market cycle inside of Bitcoin before we broke out and made our first little leg up in that cycle. And that's the exact same thing that we saw inside of Bitcoin. We had this really low, cheap consolidation, kind of rounded bottom before we made our first impulse in market cycle. Now the interesting thing about this is the fact that both market cycles look almost the exact same. The price consolidation is almost uncanny. We have our first retrace, we kind of consolidate at this mid-level point, and then we make one more sell-off, which really capitulates the market and starts the next impulse up. We can see the same thing here. We top out, we crash at this midpoint, and then we sell off for one more low, and then we start the next impulse up. Now this next impulse was very, very parabolic for both cycles. This was really one of the most parabolic trends that we've ever seen. And we can see that we had short little pullbacks before we just continued to impulse higher and higher in this trend. And it's the exact same thing inside of Ethereum. Really, we just go straight up, very short pullbacks on the whole way up. And that really is what leads us into our final parabolic phase. Now keep in mind, right here is roughly the same as right here inside of Ethereum, but you guys got to remember that there is way more money inside of Ethereum, which is why we get a lot longer of a consolidation. But it's the same pattern. I mean, ascending triangle before our final impulse for the blow off top. It's almost the exact same. Ascending triangle, blow off top. It's really our final impulse. And then that takes us to the current evaluation inside of Ethereum now. And you guys, this is the exact same cycle. Even though price isn't quite correlated, it is following the same trend, and we can see that based off of the similarities in market structure. Now it makes sense to me because we've all known that Ethereum follows Bitcoin. Ethereum's been the biggest altcoin since it's really been around. It's been the most impulsive, and there's been the most money flooding into this at a consistent basis. Now that takes us to current valuations, and we can see that both cycles are still behaving exactly the same. There's really no difference. We topped out, and then even the market symmetry of the two cycles is almost the exact same. We start retracing, we come back down, and then with this first impulse up, this is really our first leg. And this is really the first real accumulation that we're seeing take place. And it's almost the same as what we saw inside of Bitcoin. Massive sell-off, first small little leg up, and then we take a lot of time just kind of rounding out and accumulating. And that's exactly the same thing that's happening inside of Ethereum. Now, if this trend continues to follow, we're going to be expecting a very sizable increase in value inside of Ethereum, because that's what happened with Bitcoin. We can see that pretty much the most parabolic move as far as price discovery goes. Even though it wasn't the biggest percent return, we can see that the market went more straight parabolic than even Bitcoin's last cycle did. And so this is kind of what I'm watching out for with this next cycle. I think that we're going to see something very similar play out inside of Ethereum. And that's why it's time that I shared with you guys my updated price targets for this next cycle. Now, with that being said, guys, I want you guys to take a look at the previous all-time high of the last cycle. It's right there. Look how small that is in comparison to the next move that came inside of Bitcoin. And that takes us to the current day valuations. All we have finished, guys, is really just the first cycle inside of Ethereum. Just the first main cycle in this phase. And that tells me that we're still very early in this original phase and awareness cycle that we're seeing inside of Ethereum to date. Let's remove all drawing tools. We can see that this was the first cycle inside of Bitcoin. It follows very closely to the first cycle that we've had inside of Ethereum. Really, there's not a whole lot of difference. And now what's coming next is the second phase. Now this second phase got very parabolic for Bitcoin, and I'm expecting roughly the same thing to happen to Ethereum. It doesn't have to quite go as parabolic as the last Bitcoin cycle did, but I think that there will be a significant amount of money flooding into this market over the next couple years. Now, with that being said, guys, this takes us to the next part of this video. Where exactly am I coming up with my price targets? How is it going to look 2 years from now? And what can we expect to see moving forward from here? Now, guys, taking a look at Bitcoin, we can see that we have these really big impulses that completely dwarf the last cycle. I mean, this was the last cycle. This was the first cycle in Bitcoin. The next cycle completely dwarfed that. And then the cycle in 2016 to 2018 completely dwarfed that cycle as well. Remember how big this looked at one time? We can't even see the original cycle, and now we can barely see the major cycle that went all the way up to $1,200. And now the cycle went all the way to 20K, and we can see that it dwarfed the last cycle. Now, just the same as Ethereum, I'm expecting the same thing to happen inside of Bitcoin. We're most likely going to get another major impulse that dwarfs the last cycle of Bitcoin. And who knows exactly how high it gets. I think that we'll hit 200K approximately in this next cycle, which would leave the current market cycle looking a little something like that. And so with that being said, guys, this takes us to Ethereum. Now with Ethereum, I think that there's going to be a significant amount of money flooding into this market for a few different reasons. Reason number one, Ethereum has always been the leading altcoin, and it has continued to outperform all of the other altcoins since it's been around in the market. Now, if that pattern continues, there's no reason to think that Ethereum couldn't be valued at very high price levels in the next cycle. Not only that, but Ethereum has a major use case for businesses, and not only business, but the entire new world in general. This new age of digital movement is going to be characterized upon smart contracts, decentralized applications, and all of these can be programmed upon the Ethereum blockchain. Now, Ethereum is a no-brainer for me and always has been, but with so much new business ready to start developing Ethereum as soon as we get the correct foundations in place, I think that Ethereum is going to be a bulk cryptocurrency into developing and just sucking all of that new institutional money that's going to be flooding into this market. And because of that, I'm very high on Ethereum. Now, Ethereum being a platform for decentralized applications and smart contracts, all the future of business, really any sort of agreements that we come to as individuals, whether it's through a business, whether it's just peer-to-peer, all of this is going to be able to function on the Ethereum blockchain. We're going to be using Ethereum tokens to fulfill all of the network capabilities. Now, with that being said, I think that this one's going to fly. It's going to do very, very well during that next cycle. And so let's actually dive in and look at some price targets that I think that we could see. Now, based off of how the cycles work, we continue to dwarf these previous market cycles. And in the next cycle, I expect this one to look very, very, very small. Let's remove the volume real quick. Maybe we could see it dwarfed something like this. This would line up pretty closely to what we saw in the last cycle of Bitcoin. Let's see here. Something like this. We can see that we had this little tiny blip on the big scheme of the cycle. And thus far, that's how Bitcoin's behaved. At the top of each cycle, we look at the previous one and we can barely see it. And so I don't expect this trend to really change anytime soon. In fact, I find it more likely that we're going to continue to see this happen, especially in altcoins that are more underdeveloped than Bitcoin is currently. And so with that being said, guys, let's actually see where I think that we could realistically have some price targets for Ethereum. Now, I've seen a lot of people calculating about 5K for Ethereum, but if I'm being completely honest, I think that that's a little bit of a short-term target for Ethereum, and I think it would actually go much higher than that. Now, realistically for me, guys, I'm going to be targeting 7,500. I'm going to be targeting 10,000. I'm going to be targeting 15,000. And then I'm going to be targeting 20,000. And these are actually going to be this is actually going to be my plan for scaling out inside of Ethereum during this next cycle. And my reason for that is I do strongly believe that we could have a very, very large amount of money flooding into Ethereum. Now keep in mind, guys, this would put Ethereum's, if Ethereum hit $20,000, that would put Ethereum's value at over $2 trillion of market cap. Now, you guys might be watching this and just immediately writing off this analysis thinking I'm the biggest idiot that ever existed. But you got to remember, guys, I got into crypto back when Ethereum was worth $8. And I remember hearing what people had to think about the market back then, and there was not one single person that would have ever envisioned Ethereum going over $1,000. In fact, these cryptocurrencies outperformed everybody's wildest expectations, and it's for that reason that I only think that that pattern is going to continue to play out. You got to think about it from this perspective. There's more institutional money now flooding into this market than there ever has been. Previously, it's been a retail investor's game, and think about how much money retail investors were able to dump into these markets and really send them to these values that we saw back in 2017 and the top of 2018. What's to say that this can't happen for a second time? Now, keep in mind, guys, the percent return on investment isn't going to be quite as high. I mean, 150 bucks, let's say 180 bucks. That would put us at about a 40x to 7,500, about a 55x to 10K, about an 80x to 15K, and about 108x to 20K. So 100x really isn't that unrealistic to think of in the slightest. In fact, I think that we're actually going to hit these values, and that's why I have the targets drawn to these levels. Now, 2 point whatever it would be trillion dollars in market cap really isn't a whole lot in my opinion. The use case that these cryptocurrencies and these blockchain projects actually encompass seems to me that it really would value itself at, over $2 trillion. And I think that there is a significant use case in the future of things. Now, as of right now, for contracts and agreements, we just sign a paper and then we store that paper on a centralized database, and then to even get access to that, it's got to go through a number of different processes, a number of different companies just to get access to these agreements. And not only that, but man, humans make errors. I mean, with centralized applications, we can lose information. Information can be stolen, information can be hacked, and we can completely lose all of these information agreements. And what happens if we make an agreement and then we further down the line come to the agreement terms, and then we go back to initiate that agreement and it's just not there, or somebody's changed the rules, or something along those lines has happened? With Ethereum and smart contracts, that can't happen. And in fact, instead of running through a number of different companies to initiate the agreement, we can use it all on the Ethereum blockchain on one single entity. And so for me, guys, it's going to be instant. It's going to be very quick to do all of these transactions. We're going to have all of these quick and easy operations for completing them. And to me, guys, that is worth trillions of dollars. How I've always envisioned speculation on this market has always been, I've always envisioned a cryptocurrency having a market cap of $50 to $80 trillion. Now, in my other price target videos with XRP, my XRP target of $28 would put XRP's market cap at $2.8 trillion, and I do believe that is possible, and I wouldn't make the price targets if I didn't think that was possible. A lot of people will just immediately write off any analysis that I say because they say that I don't understand the mathematics and I don't understand how much money has to go into these markets. But you guys got to remember, I've been here since 2016. I got a profit throughout the entire bull run of 2017. I was still here trading in 2018 and 2019 throughout this bear market, and I'm still here today. 3.5 years of investing in crypto, 3.5 years of studying courses, and really just following mentors of my own to teach me these strategies. I've gained a lot of practical knowledge, and I really would not come up with these price targets if it was just out of a whim. If I just thought to myself, I like Ethereum. I think it's going to go to 100K. I don't say things like that because I strongly believe in the price targets that I give you guys. I do believe we could see Ethereum at 7,500. I do believe we could see it at 10K. I do believe we could see it at 15K, and it would not surprise me in the slightest to see it at 20K. If Ethereum's continuing to follow the Bitcoin cycle, it's going to continue to go on this parabolic trend. I saw the parabolic trend back in 2017, and I'm not expecting it to be nearly as parabolic and nearly as profitable as the last cycle, but I'm still expecting it to get a very impulsive market cycle that's going to provide an insane ROI for everybody that's involved. Now, this to me looks very reasonable, and I think that this is going to happen. In fact, we could surpass 20K, and I would not be surprised in the slightest. With how parabolic the last cycle got, I expect more money to be flooding into this market because this is the awareness phase where real institutions are going to be adopting this technology. Ethereum is going to be a currency of the future, and it's less of a currency and it's more of a number of different things. I mean, people are going to be programming decentralized applications on this platform. That's a significant amount of money of future businesses that are going to have trillions and billions of dollars ready to dump and unload into these markets. This is a very speculative market, and that's why the average person watching my channel can't quite comprehend us hitting these price targets. But somebody that's been here and able to actually trade these cycles, like me, I know that this is possible, and I'm very confident in it happening. I wouldn't invest 100% of my net worth into cryptocurrency if I didn't expect it to actually go to these price levels. And so this is the video I had for you guys. I wanted to talk about why I think that Ethereum could actually go to these price targets. You guys have been asking me where I'm actually going to be looking to take profits and scale out, and this is where I'm going to be scaling out. Now keep in mind, guys, I might actually add one more short-term target of about 5K, and that might be where I take some initial profits off the table from some of the stuff I accumulated sub $100 levels and even sub $150 levels, because I do have some Ethereum from those cheap levels, and it would make sense to minimize my risk and take some profits off the top. But with that being said, guys, for sure my price targets are going to be 7,500, 10K, 15K, and 20K. You guys might think that I'm crazy for thinking that. You guys might think that I'm stupid for thinking that Ethereum could have a market cap of over $2 trillion. But in actuality, guys, it's not that crazy for me. I see the use case and the fundamental perspective of these cryptocurrencies, even though I might not fully be a tech geek and completely tell you everything about blockchain technology. I do strongly believe in the longevity of these cryptocurrencies, specifically Ethereum, specifically XRP, and some of the other high cap coins. And it's for those reasons I've invested 100% of my net worth, and it's for those reasons why I really do have such high confidence in what's to come inside of these market caps. Now, with that being said, guys, this is the video I had for you. If you found this video helpful, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates like the one provided for you here. If you're interested in the course that I have offered, make sure you get a hold of me either on YouTube, my Discord server, or you can email me. You can find all of that information in the description of this video, or you can, like I said, just comment on the video and I'll get back to you from there. But with that being said, guys, this is what I had for you. Wanted to go through and really analyze exactly what I'm thinking moving forward with Ethereum. Call me crazy, call me stupid. I am a little bit crazy, but it's okay because we're here to make money, and I know exactly how I am able to do that, and I'm just really maximizing my own personal profit potential with or without you guys. So thank you all so much for the support. I'll catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.